And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Wednesday, the 14th of June. Another bright, sunny morning. Morning, Paul. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you. Pretty good. Yes, it is looking like a very nice day out.
Yeah. And it's all a bit itsy bitsy this morning as far as I can tell. But I will just start off by saying that you were right and I was wrong, Paul, yesterday on my good friend Stu Crow, who obviously listens to our podcast. So evening, Stu. I know you're down in Australia at the moment. If you're listening today, you're not retiring. Of course, you're not retiring. You've got lithium running in your blood, but you're going to stick more on the exploration side and things like Rika. So you'll still be there, still be working. No retirement in sight. So you are right, Paul. Damn it. Anyway, so people listen to our podcast. Why don't we start in the UK? Actually, there was a little bit of an announcement out this morning from Cornish Metals. Paul, why don't you talk through that and then I'll just give it my little take on it at the end.
Yes, that's fine. Cornish Metals here with an update on the activity at the South Crofty Tin Mine down there in Cornwall. The feasibility study work is continuing at pace with a number of outside firms now in the implementation of various parts of the study. Including the metallurgical work, the underground survey, the surface plant site survey in preparation for setting the foundations of that and other things as well. They have started installing the submersible pumps into the new cook's kitchen shaft in preparation to commence the dewatering of the workings in coming weeks as well.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you what, Cornish Metals actually is doing all the right sort of things. It's also got a very interesting exploration program. The stock, unfortunately, is suffering from obviously junior mining suffering badly at the moment, but also the issues at Tungsten West and getting that into production are sort of dragging down everything in the whole of the southwest of Cornwall. And I think the same is going to be true, unfortunately, for people like Cornish Lithium, private company, obviously. But you know, they need to raise more money to keep trundling along, shall we say, and I think they'll be finding it harder and harder, and so much of it does unfortunately come back to Tungsten West because that's the sort of lead project. Anyway, we'll watch this space and see if some magic can be done there over the summer maybe. Right, what else? There was a little bit of news out on Iofina.
Yes, that's right. London quoted Iofina, which is the oil field brine producer in the USA mid-continent that extracts iodine from those oil field brines. They do have plant number 9, the brand new one now up and running in Oklahoma, and it's expected to add something shy of 150 tons a year of crystal iodine to the company total of 9, essentially 9 operating plants. And what they do is they utilize the oil well waste brines that have to be taken away from the producing wells and disposed of. Well, they take those brines and actually extract iodine from that and then inject it. Iofina, one of the producers in the world, but the big producer of iodine is SQM down in Chile.
I mentioned that one slightly. They're coming in to see us on the 29th of June. Obviously, anybody who wants to know more about that, then get in touch with us afterwards. Look, it's a little bit itsy bitsy. It's a little bit out on a Mexican silver company, Kootenay Silver. We do like a little bit of Mexican silver around here. So why don't you comment on that one? It's TSX listed, though.
Yes, that's right. They have made the final payment toward the $3.29 million purchase price of the Columbus silver property down there in Mexico. This one quite advanced in exploration. Historically 27,000 meters of drilling, which had been undertaken since 2019. And they do have at least 4 of these veins on this particular property that are showing really good widths and grades. And we're talking about widths of several meters and grades up there between 400 and 1,000 grams per ton in silver. So Kootenay's got big plans for this one. Stage 1 of a 3-stage program of 50,000 meters of drilling to further assess these veins to get underway this summer.
Very good. We do. Yep. I see on social media, I think James Anderson at Guanajuato Silver is down in Mexico at the moment, doing various things. Obviously, at the moment, actually, most of the talk around the whole market is all about bonds, bond yields, and interest rate rises. Well, I see yesterday, Paul, in the States, inflation actually down to only 4%, which is pretty good. You seem to have got things under control over there in your neck of the woods.
Well, they do seem to be making progress, but I'm not sure people are convinced that they can get it down really very far now. It's going to be that inflation bug is going to be stickier for longer, the way some of the services prices across the economies are playing at this point.
Well, this is a mining podcast, not an economics podcast. But of course,
That's right.
When you've got very high employment and very low unemployment, which appears to be happening in the Western world, in the US and the UK, then you would expect to see a little bit of inflationary pressure in your core inflation because, people are in demand. You can't get the people. It's a really strange economic scenario we're in at the moment, isn't it? It doesn't necessarily feel that we're like that. Anyway, there we go. We'll see what the crazy Bank of England does. They're pretty useless. I would say that although they shouldn't raise interest rates, we don't need it at the moment. Anyway, we're diverging completely. Let's call it a day there, Paul. We'll speak again tomorrow.
Very good. See you then.